Well, welcome to everybody. We would be going through today the developer mode of Tally. What exactly is this developer mode of Tally? Well, in the previous section of Tally, we have seen how to execute Tally, and all the interfaces that we have seen today is the regular customer mode of Tally. Well, for the developers, there are specific command line parameters that helps the developer to open the application based on a specific requirement. Starting with the first command line parameter, the no INI TDL. Basically, when you execute or open Tally, in your INI you have specified, say there are some TDLs that are specified. Uh, in cases where you have multiple projects running and there's a common file which you are executing, and you would not like to execute the file that you have loaded with your application by default, for the specific requirement, properties, execution, here we can mention slash no ini tdl. So when you execute this, whatever TDLs are mentioned in your INI will get unloaded. So now when we run this, you see, although I have an INI file here, in the INI there's a TDL file here, it does not get loaded because of the command line parameters. So just let us first remove this and see how it works. You see, right now we have 3 TDLs and one TDL is from the Lang folder. Yeah, now you'll be able to see. This is from the account, this is from the INI, and this is from the execution of the text file, the project file from the developer application. So what will happen is, when we give the command line parameter, the one which has been added in the INI will get unloaded. So now let me show you this once again. Right click, properties, compiler executions, slash no ini tdl, or you can also give a tick here, which means it executes a command line parameter no ini tdl. Then we have a command line parameter tdl. So this can be mentioned here. You can mention a specific TDL you would like to execute whenever you run this project. So you can say TDL colon the TDL file name with the path if you have a separate path. Then no INI load by default. Say when you have executed Tally, let us just give this change. Properties. Okay. By default, say at data configuration, so you have provided a company to load automatically. So what will happen now is, as soon as you load Tally, the company starts. So when you do not want any company to get loaded while you execute Tally, you can give no ini load. And say if you want to load a specific company when you are running this project, so what you can do is properties, compiler executions, slash load colon and the company number. So we'll just remove this from, we'll select a different company. We'll select the company 00010. 00010. Now execute this. Here. See? So one thing, it has done two things. First, it loaded the company that was available in our INI, and then it loaded the company which we have specified. Right? So that's how you can specify. You can provide multiple parameters. You can provide first slash no INI, no INI LOAD space, and then load INI, and then load the company that you require. So multiple command line parameters can be specified as per the requirement. So now you see DEF has got loaded and ABC did not get loaded with this. Similarly, we have a command line parameter variable. That means whenever you initiate this program, there's a particular variable values that you want to call. This particular command line parameter is very helpful when you are executing Tally from another application, and some certain selected variables need to get passed. Similarly, we have a command line parameter for set variable set var. Again, it helps you to set the variable name. Then we have then we have a command line parameter called no GUI, where the interface should not get executed, but the application should continue to run on the background. So this is the need that we have when we specifically do the integrations, where applications should execute, but the interface should not be seen. Then if there are certain actions that you want to execute while you are executing the command line parameter, like as soon as you execute, uh, you want to show the trial balance, or pre-action before before Tally application executes, you want to perform certain actions, or while the application is being quit, you want to perform the action. That's what we have, when we have enabled auto backup, and if you have set it to yes, the post action is that. And then there is an option to say no def. This means do not load the default TDLs, where there are certain integrations to be done. Default TDLs are not required for testing purposes, is where you can deny loading the default TDLs. And then we have something called as dev mode. This command line parameter opens our Tally into a developer mode. So let me show you this. Right click, properties, / dev mode, and execute. First thing that you will notice on the left top hand banner, it's in developer mode. The banner, the gateway of Tally, has been turned into red, and it clearly specifies in developer mode. Right? So this indicates that right now your Tally is running in a developer mode. Now, what are the benefits of executing your Tally in this particular mode? One, you will have an on-screen tooltip. Two, you will be able to do profiling. Three, you would be able to diagnose the expressions, the evaluations of the expressions that can be done. And four, you can basically also do a key recording, play it back, and trigger the keys again. So starting with the tooltip, please note that the developer mode of Tally has been started from Tally ERP9 release 4.6. So this would be active only. This would work only if it is release 4.6 or above. There is no separate installation for the dev mode. The customer installation that you do is the same Tally application. The only change with the Tally exe that customer uses and as a developer you would use is the command line parameter. That's the only difference. So the installation procedure and processes and the exe of the installer is absolutely the same. So this is the tooltip feature. So let me show you this tooltip. When your cursor comes here, it gives you the field name. Else it gives you the report name. This is the field name and now this would be the report name. You see there is a report name change period. If a cursor is placed at SV from date, if a cursor is placed at SV to date, this is MV title. So this is the field name and if you place it, it's a report name. You also can see display daybook, name field, daybook, DSPVCH account, DSPVCH number, DSP DB CR amount, DR amount, right? So as you move your mouse cursor on that, it will give you the tooltip what is the field name. This makes your work easier. It will be better for people so that you do not have to dig in for the field name. It makes your work simpler. Now coming to profile. Profiler is a tool which will help the developer to check the performance of a TDL program. So in case there is any lag, this will help the developer to optimize the code. It checks and returns the execution time, counts on the various TDL artifacts. It gathers information for the collections. How long does it take to gather the collection? How long does it take to execute a user-defined function or particular expression? So for that we have steps to get the profiler information is start the profiler, execute the desired report, dump the profiler and stop the profiler with the file. So there is one we have created. Again, the sample code is available in the samples that we have. Help TDL samples. The samples are available in What's New release 4.6 dev mode. So here are the samples that we have. So first we'll go with the profiler mode. So here we have What's New release 4.6 developer mode profiler. What you will have to do is click here on start profiler. Click to start profiling. Trial balance, enter. Then you can execute duties and taxes. Now when you're here, say stop recording, end profiler. Your information has been dumped to tdlprof.log. This file will be created in your Tally application folder. So we'll just open that. So right click, properties, open file location, and here are the files that have got generated. The file gets created in an Excel sheet. This makes the work of a developer easier to understand what is happening where. So the first is the TDL expression profiler. Each and every line is executed and a count has been made. So the count is 33 times. It has taken 5 milliseconds for the line name, and the element that it has been trying to execute. So we'll just reduce the width of this column width. We'll make it 100 so we can read it, and format cells and line wrap text. So it comes into a readable format for us, at least within the same page. Right, so now we can see count is 48 times 3 milliseconds for the field DSP name, and this is the expression it has been trying to evaluate. So the details of each and every expression at each and every definition is mentioned here, and you can see the requested type is mentioned, the interface, that's the field or line or collection. It has been specified here. It's a key, it's a collection, what it has been trying to evaluate, all the details have been specified here. So this is an expression evaluation that has been taken place. So at this collection, this is what has got evaluated. So we'll just check for this collection once. Control J, collection name, and what is the expression here? Dollar is subledger colon group stock of group name is something that is getting evaluated from here. Then is forex. All these methods are getting caught. Then we have for the collection, these are the for the collection, this are the from this line, this collection is being called, and expected behavior thus would be a repeat on the repeat line. Then we have this part, this collections are getting executed. This key for this collection is getting executed. Part address, company address collection is getting executed. Collection DSP auto columns, list of primary companies are getting executed, and there's a collection diff and OP bal is getting executed. Count, so you can just check the summation, how long does it take. So the total count comes up to 68 times, and the time taken will be max 85 milliseconds. Please note it is in milliseconds, ms. So which comes up to nearly 1 second 50 1.5 1.15 sorry 1.25, it's a 1.5 millisecond, and there are no functions running. So this is how you can check on for a profiler. Similarly, if you want, you can also check for other things. So let us just say start profiler, profit and loss. You can just execute, open and run, then say auto column, say monthly. You just evaluate for April 2000 to 15, and you say top recording, the end profiler. So you'll see all details. Since it gives you the number of seconds it takes, milliseconds. This is not second, please note it's millisecond. And the collection details and the profiler details, everything gets dumped here. So just let me show the code that has been developed for this. Very simple code has been developed. Menu, we have given a button. It has a button calling a function. If the profiler is on, then stop the profiler. If it is off, on the profiler. So basically it is just to start the profile or stop the profile. So start profile does not have any start profile is an action but does not have any parameter. Stop profiler has an action stop profile which takes the name of the file, right? So start and stop is the profiler that we have provided. Then talking about command, if you want to do it from the calculator panel, well, I showed you from the function. That means you will have to have buttons and shortcut keys and all those things to start your profiler and stop your profiler. You want to do it from your command line, from your calculator panel command, you can do that. You can first turn on the profiler mode. So in your calculator panel, you can write mode : profile, mode set to profile. You see this? Then once the mode is set, then you can say start. So START. The profiler mode has started. Then you can just do whatever you wanted to do, balance sheet, and it's done. Then say stop, and then you say dump. Now see this, it has been dumped to Excel. The Excel file name is mentioned here. So this is what has been expressed here. So this is how you can use your calculator panel also. Dump Z. This command is also used for dumping the profiler artifacts, but the artifacts which have taken negligible time, that is almost zero time, that will not get recorded in your profiler now. So right now if you look at this, each and every thing has been logged. So at least 1 millisecond it would have taken. So that is why it has been giving you at least 1, because it cannot give you something in points from milliseconds. So if there is something that is less than that, it would not log that. Status, just to check what is the profiler status. Profiler is off. Then reset. Help will give you the commands that you have for profiler. Help. So these are the profilers that you have. Actions I showed you. We have start profile, which will start the profiling. then we have dump profile, which takes the file name and a logical value. The logical value, if it is set to yes, then it will also include, if the value is set to yes, it will include all the artifacts even if 0 times are taken. If you set it to no, then it would not dump. So when you say it's no, the action is as good as dump Z. Then we have stop profile, profiler on. Then we have stop profile, and you can click and stop the profiling. There's a function to check whether the profiler is on or off. That is just to check the status of the profiler. Now coming to the expressions. Again, for expressions, this particular thing will break up. Now you saw that while we were doing the profiling, there were expressions that were getting evaluated, and there was a time taken banner. Now say there is an expression you have provided, but you don't know what is actually happening to that expression. So to evaluate it and break it up and understand what is happening exactly at that evaluation is why we will have this particular feature to be used. So you can start the expression, execute the report, dump, and stop the expressions. So let me just show you the one which we have. So we have here, say start debugging, balance sheet, Alt N, monthly, and the report is out. Now we can do stop recording, end debugging. It is logging the required data, and you will see that the TDL debug.log has been dumped. Go back to your tally folder, and again an Excel sheet for that is got generated. Here are your expressions, the result, the object type, the object name, the request, and the request name. So the expression starts with, as soon as you click on the button, the expression starts. Is debugger on? Yes. The function name. So this is our function name. Expression, again, this gets executed. Result. So you look at this, each and every expression that is there within that report, even the smallest expression that you can see is evaluating, and it is giving you the output. Well, you can just do a view and say freeze top row, and you can just scroll down here. Print mode, no. Form, balance sheet. Then there is a part DSP where this is export mode is provided. So each and every detail of an expression available is mentioned. So you know when you don't get the resulted output, what exactly is failing there. Numsets 1, numsets 1, where it is explored. Yep. So the object type is group, the object name, the collection is BS Lab. See this at every level, what is evaluating, how it is evaluating is given in detail. Now say something is failing here. You come to know, okay, this is what it is failing. I was supposed to get a credit value here, but a debit value, but it's giving me credit value. So instead of positive, make it negative. So that's how you can change your code. So there are actions for it. Again, there are calculator panel commands, mode, debug mode. So here you can type mode debug. Then you can say start. You go to profit and loss. You escape. You say stop. And you say start stump. And you say dump. It gets dumped. Then you can check the status. You can evaluate a specific expression also. Eval, and you can just give the value that you want to evaluate on. So here we have given the evaluation of the SV from date. You can reset the status that clears the existing diagnosis that has been done from the memory. You can stop. Again, here we have help. So you can use help to do the evaluation. So there is a debug.xlx here. See, every detail that you need is being dumped. So there is nothing to be worried about. So based on this, you can further do the evaluation to understand where your code is failing and how you can make a better code or optimize the code. Action. So we have done all the actions through buttons. So at here we have just called a function in which we have done stop debugging if debugger mode is on. Stop the debugger mode, and this is a file name that you need to create. If it is not, start the debugging and set the debugger mode function variable value. So this is how it works. So we have start, dump, stop. Then the function is debugger mode on. Well, for doing certain kind of testing, you have to, keep going in and out of tally. Like whenever you say do some import and you come here, you have to do DSS to check the statistics. Now, this you have to do after every import you do. So you first say import of data, vouchers, and you press enter. So you do OV enter, OV enter. So it's basically OV enter, OV enter. So you will have to keep doing this multiple times probably when you come here. So it gets very difficult for you to keep doing that, and after every import you have to do SS. So DSS, display statements of account statistics, to check what is the status of the current masters or probably the vouchers. So it gets very difficult to keep doing that over and over again when you have to do the same stuff multiple times. For this kind of behavior, we have the developers can automate this and just replay the current keystroke. So repeatedly, over and over again, the same set of steps can be repeated. So when you have to do some project execution or multiple times or some report callings, this can help, the automation can help. We call this as a macros, and the macros.log file gets appended basically. So first you start recording, navigate through the sequences of keystrokes, dump the recording and stop the recording, and then you can replay the recording. So again we have the command, the calculator panel command available. Mode, record, start, the macros name, replay. It is used to replay the recently recorded macros from the memory. You can pause the recording in between. You can resume the recording. You can give the dump. This command is used to dump the recording to the recordings to the file macros.log. The macro name will be separated from the keys with the key separator, that is the tilde sign that we have. This command will stop doing the recent recording. ls is used to list the macros which are recorded and available in the memory. So here simply we'll say mode colon record and ls help. So currently we have nothing in record, and we say reset. So all the macros have got deleted. We have actions like start recording, and you have to give the macros name. Then we have pause recording. You can pause the recording, you can resume the recording, you can dump the recording. The recording will be dumped. So right now we don't have macros.log, we have bsv view.txt, which is not empty. So we will just read that text file. And it will read everything from the file and return the keys. So what we have done is we just start returning you the keys. That's all we have done. So there is an action called trigger key. With the help of a comma separation we have done, we'll start reading out your keys. So for token key, read what we have given and the comma separated. So by one the key will get pushed and it will call the values. So if the file exists, so we don't have the file existing, so we will have to change the file name. Well, it is going so fast that we cannot see what exactly is happening, but you can see that it is trying to get into the field and just coming back. So something is happening which it's so fast that we cannot see, but it's happening. Record status to check what is the current recorder status. So these are on and whole the profiler, the on-screen tooltip, the debugging and the recording and playback functionalities we have for developer. Thank you.